speaking of Patrick Ceci, we have to check out this new video on Orlando Brown. The downward spiral of Orlando Brown. It's you hate to see how often Disney stars get caught up in, you know, life-altering things such as drug use and things like that. But after hearing some stories about some things, bro, you can't really be too mad at him. Hey, Chatty. I'm not even sure, bro. Thank you for the follow up. Appreciate it. But you know, they've been through some stuff, man. So it's kind of like, can you be mad at them? Like, yeah, but like, they didn't ask to, you know, go through some of the things they went through, especially him. We gonna see. Yikes. Bro, tweaking out.
Y'all see that little white ass baby with that? All my kids look like me, goddammit. I know the strength of my car.
Nah, for real. For real, bro. Got a football helmet on.
How did he try to kill me? I got to have sex with one handicapped girl. It was one handicapped bitch. It's, you know, and it's like, come on.
Bro, what? What is
it? How did he try to kill me? I got to have sex with one handicapped girl. It was one handicapped bitch. It's, you know, and it's like, come on, man.
I'm not gonna lie, I kinda wanna hear the whole story.
Stop trying to make me look unsmart.
This is what can happen when a child works a full-time job from age 8, making all kinds of money that is being mismanaged or potentially stolen, on top of experiencing all kinds of dark things that go on behind the scenes out of the public view. Stay hydrated. Orlando Brown was a funny child, full of energy and had an infectious personality. Growing up in Los Angeles, California, his parents knew it was possible to get their child into acting. His godfather knew of a young talent management agency, and after a few auditions, he landed his first role as Tiger in the movie Major Payne. The movie wasn't wildly successful, but it is a classic 90s family film with great jokes and a heartwarming ending. I personally love this movie.
I'm personally not into movies like that, especially now. I feel like they're not aging well. It's just not really a vibe. If there's no, like, it has to be like a really good movie, writing wise, and, you know, cinematic wise. Like, it has to look good and like sound good for me to like it, because movies like that for the most part have boring writing. They don't do anything that looks interesting, and the storyline is mostly boring.
Alongside Damon Wayans and Karen Parsons was a huge resume builder, especially for his first film. From here, he became a go-to in Hollywood for a funny, adorable child role. From 1995 to 2000, Orlando had 17 different TV roles. Family Matters, The Jamie Foxx Show, Safe Harbor, and Two of a Kind were his biggest gigs. From age 8 to 13, Orlando was working harder than I probably ever have in my whole life. But in the 2000s, he didn't slow down. He would land a huge role on the Disney Channel alongside Raven-Symoné. Raven was a very successful child star. She and Orlando both acted alongside Damon Wayans. They were both on popular sitcoms. They were both go-to child stars for family-friendly shows, films, and cartoons. They interconnected with all the same people in Hollywood for a few years now, so it only made sense to give them a show together. That's So Raven. The idea was created by Michael Poirier, creator of Hannah Montana, as well as produced by David Brookwell and Sean McNamara, who created Even Stevens. The show was bound for success. Raven Baxter is a psychic high school student that allows her to see visions of the future. Often the plot revolves around Raven trying to prevent this vision from happening because she didn't like the outcome. Usually she miscalculates the events, which gets her, her friends, or family into even more trouble. Raven's two best friends, Chelsea and Eddie, are the only ones that know about her abilities and act as her confidants throughout the show. Eddie, played by Orlando Brown, is the athletic, overconfident, aspiring rapper.
Believe me, you ain't never heard a young man that can blaze the track, bringing in the scat that can dribble behind his back.
Chelsea, played by Annalise Vanderpool, is the dumb blonde stereotype best friend. The show was known for its wacky plots, intricate costumes, and integrated music. Raven, Anna, and Orlando are all talented musicians, not just comedians. Anna has had a 15-year career on Broadway. Raven was the front woman of the Cheetah Girls, who performed world tours and sold millions of albums.
Them Cheetah Girls movies was hard! hard, bro.
albums. In Orlando, we'll talk about his music career in a bit. This was the Disney Channel's first multi-camera sitcom, and it was reported to be the highest rating original program in the network's history.
Wow.
100 episodes total, averaging over 3 million viewers per episode. The show and cast were nominated for various awards over 50 times. The roaring success of That's So Raven led to Fillmore, where Orlando voiced the main character.
Yeah.
Fillmore, I'm on it.
Then the Proud Family movie
That
and
chicken was dry.
TV show where he voiced Sticky Webb.
Well, peep this. I programmed my pager to
I
pick
didn't
up a
even
signal
realize
from the
him.
government spy satellite.
Orlando at this point had a wildly successful youth acting career for over 10 years.
I remember when I couldn't have none of this stuff, you know what I mean? So to save up and to be able to have and go in and say, you know what, I want that for myself. I have it now.
Orlando was on top of the world, but he had a slip up. He was arrested. In 2007, Orlando was driving through the west side of Houston at 1 a.m. when he was pulled over because his headlights were off. He consented to a search and the officer found some grass on the driver's side door. He was charged with misdemeanor possession and released on bond. I didn't know what was in the car. That's not what I do. I consider myself a youth activist, he said. I don't want this
Yikes.
arrest lingering over my head. I love what I do. Why jeopardize what I built? An honest
Yikes,
mistake,
dude.
a sincere apology.
It'd be
But
like
Disney in
that.
2007 demanded the squeaky clean image of their actors, so the repercussions were brutal. From here, he never worked with Disney ever again. Orlando was always
Whack.
passionate about music, so he pursued it. Instead of going the typical route of signing to a major label and using his Disney fame as leverage, he decided to remain independent.
Young Star Entertainment, the League Entertainment coming to you soon. You know what I'm talking about? M-Law, Young Star, we out.
Peter Pan was the name of his new single that was an attempt to capitalize on the ringtone rap dance era 2 years after Soulja Boy peaked. At this
Makes
time,
sense.
he seemed to have a good outlook on the way it was all going.
Everything is a blessing. I can't complain about nothing, man. I'm just happy with my life right now.
However, none of his music ever hit Billboard, never earned any
Yikes.
certifications, or got
Yikes.
any mainstream publicity. He never did any
I'm
tours.
gonna keep it a bug with you, bro. I didn't even know he did music. I did not
barely
know.
did live performances outside of maybe a club appearance or an empty baseball stadium.
This is actually painful to see, bro. It's literally nobody in there except for the people setting up. That's sad.
Other than a Facebook page, I can't even be certain that Young Star Entertainment is a real business. Sure, some of the songs did get decent YouTube views, but without the support of the music industry, I'd
guess.
be willing to bet he never made any substantial money from music.
Yeah, I doubt
any
it.
publicity he got from red
Because
carpet
that's even, before YouTube AdSense. So he probably, wasn't making much after that became like a thing for real.
events he would use to promote his music.
So what's going on with you?
Well, I'm pushing my new single, The Peter Pan. It's a brand new dance.
His new sitcom, The Orlando Brown Show,
I wrote The Orlando Brown Show, which is my sitcom. I have a reality show. I have a cartoon. I got a lot of stuff going on.
He promoted these two projects for years, but I could not find any proof that they ever existed. Conspiracy theorists might suggest that he was blackballed and exiled from the entertainment industry because of Disney. Or the more likely reason is while pursuing an independent career, making shows, films, and music, corporations can't make as much money off of you, therefore they probably don't want to do business with you. So maybe these projects did exist, but he couldn't get them off the ground without a substantial
make
amount of
sense.
cash. His first DUI. In 2011, Brown was driving in Hollywood without a license plate. After pulling him over, the cops suspected he was drunk, and after failing a sobriety test, he was booked in the famous Hollywood Station. After failing to appear for court,
Whack.
he became wanted for failing to prove that he enrolled in an alcoholic education class, which then led to another DUI. Clearly, he has a problem with
No.
drinking and driving, but he still seemed to be in good spirits.
What happens is when you're young and you're a child star, whatever,
Yes.
Yeah, so, no one's going to believe it right now. My music, I'll stop it because of the Disney thing and everything. But, the fans know I've been trying for years.
So how is he making money? How is he surviving if his music career was failing? People think that Disney stars are rich and set for life. This couldn't be further from the truth.
Yeah.
The highest paid
I feel
Disney
like
stars
one thing that I really love about these videos that Patrick's been doing, especially on Disney Stars, is like it proves that bro, all of how we viewed them when we were kids is so not true because of the suits, bro. It's always suits, man.
are looking at maybe $30,000 per episode. There are also no royalty deals. Disney stars don't even get into
That's
Disney.
literally less than rappers get for a club appearance. Literally to show up, not even to perform. to show up, bro.
Disneyland for free.
That's
You think
actually
they're paying
whack.
you for their reruns? So $30K would be like main character money with managers that know how to negotiate. Orlando being a side character, I would say $15,000 per episode with a good deal. 100 episodes, that's $1.5 million over 4 years. On top of animated shows and films, it's possible he could have made a few $1,000,000 over his 12-year run. But most children don't have any concept of the money they're making.
See, let me tell you something. As a kid, you don't know that you're getting paid.
Most of the time, families are poorly managing the money or straight up stealing it. We have no actual proof, but judging by the way the rest of his story goes, it indicates he was struggling. Orlando Brown sentenced to 180 days in jail. He just kept evading the courts, failing to pay his DUI fines, and failing to complete his alcohol education class. When he got out, things got worse. Orlando was outside a 40-year-old woman's apartment in North Hollywood threatening her. She claimed they were acquaintances and he made sexual passes at her, in which she denied, which led him to exploding in rage. Orlando says the woman was stalking him and he went to the apartment to tell her boyfriend nothing was going on between them. His story doesn't really make any sense and you can feel this is another drug-induced episode. He managed to land a short cameo in Straight Outta Compton as well as a lead role in an indie film called
I don't remember him being in Straight Outta Compton.
Smoke-Filled Lungs. But the big news of 2015 was That's So Raven reunion on The View.
Hey Kyle, can you come out here please?
Right now.
The GOAT, bro.
The link-up was wholesome and everyone seemed to be positive and happy. Orlando showed off his terrible hand tattoo of the cast, which Raven loved. But there was a particular question asked on The View that sparked a lot of people's interest.
Who dated the most cast and crew members?
I might go on a leave random pool on this.
I think they're calling me a slut is what's happening. No, it was just we all had a really nice relationship with each other. We're gonna keep it real simple.
Yeah, we did.
This clip seems harmless, but it's pretty obvious that the 4 cast members all know what Raven was hinting at, but the audience has no idea. We also know this clip was changed in post-production because the promotional clip for the episode had something else in there.
We used to date. We used to break up.
So the part where Orlando says, "we used to date," was used in the promo clip, but cut out of the real episode. Raven did deny the allegations, but only the people who were in the audience that day know what was said. But Orlando kept opening up about the past.
I mean, was there any resentment
I'm so mad at the Pharrell hat.
in the cast
Like,
with
come on, man. You ain't
with
peep.
her being chosen for the lead role after
Oh
the
no,
fact?
because at the time I was dating her at the time.
If he is telling the truth, that would mean that Raven was 15 and Orlando was 13 when they started dating. Since the show officially started filming in 2001, and Orlando said they were already together before the show even started, he took it one step further though.
Oh, that was in the song. And yes, I did eat the pussy. I ain't gonna lie, I ate the pussy.
At the time, it was hard to tell if he was joking, serious, or delusional. I think it's obvious why he wasn't invited to do the That's So Raven reboot, Raven's Home. It's probably worth mentioning that before this first Vlad TV interview, he got arrested for striking his girlfriend, which resulted in police finding methamphetamine on him. With all the new attention on Orlando from the interview, combined with an alleged drug problem, things got worse.
I don't understand why people are just mad at me because I got to have sex with one handicapped girl. It was one handicapped bitch.
Yeah, that's meth, bro.
See, let me tell you something. Stevie Wonder's not really blind. You fell for that the whole time.
And I'm white mixed with German, you know.
Bro, I don't mean to laugh, bro. This isn't funny, but like, my G.
I'm a mother. You know, I don't do these things. Why would I smoke crack?
Bro, I swear I'm gonna start quoting this. This is so funny.
And I'm white mixed with German. You know, I'm a mother. You know, I don't do these things. Why would I smoke crack?
The brown of the tip, it was just, I don't know, it was this, what you call it, the areola? The areola, yeah, the areola, yeah. I remember just, the areola.
His follower counts were rising, enabling more of this behavior. Vlad invited him back.
I mean, I told you in the first interview. I mean, she gave me, and then I gave her some.
From here, he got more interviews.
They said, can you explain
kept on stage.
I ate her.
Okay, that's what the.
I had the nam cakes. I went inside the land of the man that wants to go inside if he can, but couldn't do it, man. But I did. I said I could do it, and I can.
That is insane.
I'm sure you're thinking, what does Raven have to say about all this?
Seriously,
What
bro.
the hell is up with that madman Orlando Brown? Last year he had put a video saying he got
Sway in
you
the
pregnant,
morning.
abortion. What the hell is going on?
Well, you know, the new show, Raven's Home, airs Friday nights at 8 o'clock. So that's what happened. That's what happened there.
Raven won't address the situation or give it any more attention. However, there was one little thing she said last year that had people wondering if she was talking about Orlando.
You know, it's funny. A lot of my relationships I have confidentialities with. So I'm technically not allowed to talk about. I have been in a lot of different kinds of relationships, but my first true love relationship was both pleasurable and miserable and heartbreaking and heartfelt. It was a journey.
How old were you?
That relationship lasted, well, I started in that relationship at 13 years old and it ended in like 20.
She claims to have NDAs for her previous relationships.
That's
If that
actually
was
wild.
the case, then Orlando would definitely be violating those terms. However, 13 to 20 was roughly the timeline of her being on That's So Raven, a little before and a little after. Raven being 13 would make Orlando 11 at the time. The stories don't match up perfectly, but some people really believe Orlando is telling the truth despite his obvious shaky mental state.
Yeah.
Orlando got a tattoo of Raven on his neck. He was about to enter probably his darkest times. He got arrested by some bounty hunters who broke into the home he was staying at and took him into custody.
Bounty hunters? Nah, bro. You getting arrested by bounty hunters? That's crazy, dog.
Match up perfectly, but some
That's
people really
actually
believe Orlando is
crazy.
telling the truth despite his obvious shaky mental state.
That's some serious
Orlando got a
stuff.
tattoo of Raven on his neck. He was about to enter probably his darkest times. He got arrested by some bounty hunters who broke into the home he was staying at and took him into custody.
You got a possession, you have a PC-148, PC-243.
After he got out, he was arrested again for skipping drug court. During the arrest, he also had a meth pipe on him. At this time, he also had a warrant out for domestic battery. A few months later, he would be arrested again, this time for trying to change the locks on the doors of a friend's restaurant. Another
Bruh.
weird situation, but this time it landed him in jail for 15 days. After he got out,
I'm chilling, bro. Get away from my house, yo.
I'm away from your house. Hit. I'm away. I'm off your property.
Come back over and I'm gonna knock you the fuck out.
I'm off your property.
with all these problems stacking up, Orlando's friends and family decided it was best for Dr. Phil to intervene.
No, not Dr. Phil. Okay, I need to look, man. All due respect to Dr. Phil, bro. But I swear, if you or someone you know is having any problem, the last person you want to go to is Dr. Phil, bro. Like in any situation. In any situation, bro. Like, I don't even want to see first graders on there arguing about Legos, bro. To be honest with you, I don't. That's the last place you want to be. Again, all due respect, I don't want no advice from Dr. Phil, bro. I don't. And I don't want it aired
Try
on
to help
TV.
him. For some reason, nobody in the
That worked out for Danielle Bergoli. She got a lot of clout from that, and I'm happy for her. But for the most part, people just be embarrassing themselves on there, bro.
comments talked about these Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle contacts he was wearing as if it was totally normal.
Today I'm glad to say I'm 4 years sober, and you know, it's been quite a journey.
After this interview, it was very clear how far drugs had taken him. He wasn't able to remember how many kids he had or their ages.
What's the 2-year-old's name?
2-year-old, still in the belly. Still in the belly, we don't know yet.
Okay. You said the 2-year-old don't know the name because it's still in the belly.
That's because I have a baby on the way as well. I just mentioned
So
that.
the 2-year-old is still in the belly, so that means that that child has been in there for 2 years.
Not necessarily.
Orlando had hit rock bottom, so the only way to go was up. For the next year or so, there wasn't much Orlando content, but he started releasing music consistently, and he looked a lot healthier. And his music actually isn't that bad. Sure, he has some wild
Alright, it's
conspiracy
okay.
bars in there, like, I can't believe y'all still think Stevie Wonder is blind. But I mean, in terms of flow and delivery, it's not bad. I wish I could tell you this
It's
was
not
the
bad.
redemption story, but it wasn't. A clip of him after getting beat up went viral. Then he would go on
Yikes.
manic tirades claiming that he is Michael Jackson's son, and he owns the Neverland Ranch.
I literally remember hearing about this, bro. I was like, what?
As well as claiming that he is Will Smith's son.
Hey man, that nigga Michael Jackson, bro. You feel me? That nigga Michael Jackson, bro. That nigga set me up, bro. I'm Trent.
I'm your long lost son, Trent, bitch. I'm Trent, bitch. AKA Blanket Jackson, motherfucker. The real Will Smith, motherfucker.
He also frequently talks about other rappers being gay because it gets attention. There's a large community of people out there that try to expose rappers for being gay in their private lives.
No, literally though, it's mad funny.
I know Young Thug's gay. Trey Songz gay.
Man, Free Thug, bro.
I've heard about Trey Songz sucking a few dicks in his lifetime. I happen to know D.
I kind of would believe that.
Boys.
He went viral for changing his behavior, getting sober, and giving his life to his religion. Fans on the internet hadn't been tapped in with his life too much and probably only remembered him from his Vlad/Dr. Phil episodes. So this seemed like a monumental step, and it is a big step. His life is pretty unpredictable. One day the police are in his house, the next day he's exposing rappers.
How Diddy's trying to kill me?
Then he's on No Jumper appearing to be sober, even though he kind of denies ever being on drugs.
How long you been in recovery for?
Recovery for
drugs or alcohol?
I haven't been in.
Oh, so you don't fuck with that at all? I was kind of the impression that.
Oh yeah, nah, bro.
However, conspiracies and wacky live streams aside, he seems to be doing fine these days. Maybe even working at this pizza shop. Ultimately, Orlando is going to continue to have ups and downs. Addiction is a vicious cycle that has even plagued my family. It seems like the drugs and alcohol may have had some permanent effects on his brain, but he's still talented, still funny, and still trying to better himself. And the fact that he's still trying is monumental. We can only hope he has a support system that can prevent things from getting out of control again. And maybe one day we can see an iconic comeback from the Eddie we once knew.
Hopefully, bro, because that's a really sad story, man. But it's not over, you know. Bro really could just make a crazy comeback in rap, you know, with probably like Tom McDonald fans, not gonna lie, because that conspiracy stuff is not it. Like, no. But, you know, hopefully bro's doing well, man.